5, it's about major key signatures. It talks about C major, G major, D major, and F major. Knowing key signatures is actually really important, and it makes reading a lot easier. Like if I see a piece of music where there's no key signatures, then I know I'm in C major. Then I know the notes I'll be dealing with are mostly, of course we could have accidentals, are going to be C, D, F, G, A, B, C. So when I'm reading, I know it's probably one out of those 7, then it makes reading a lot quicker. I'm sure all of you are familiar with sharps and flats. These can come as accidentals or key signatures. And they are just basically mostly the black keys on the piano. Sometimes you could have a white key too if it's a sharp or flat. Okay, so when it comes to key signatures, we have 3 types of keys. The most simple one is the C major, which has no sharps or flats. So when you look at a piece of music, if right after the clef comes the time signature like that, then we know it's in C major or in A minor. At this point, you don't have to worry about the A minor part, so you probably know that, oh, it's C major, because there's nothing between the clef and the time signature. Okay. Then there are sharp keys and flat keys. The flat key they're introducing right now is F major. And it has B flat as the key signature. B flat, it's F major. So F major, the notes in F major are F. It's called the F major because F is the starting note of the pattern. And then everything kind of centers around it. So for now, you just have to memorize that C major has no sharps or flats. G major has an F sharp. D major has F sharp and C sharp. F major has B flat. You have to be really careful that the key signatures cannot be written anywhere on the staff. So, for example, for F major, you cannot do this and put a flat there. It's really strange looking. So for the B flat, for a key signature, it must go on the 3rd line, okay? If we are talking about the key signature for G major, the F sharp must go on the top line of the treble clef, if it's the treble clef. So that has to be there. It cannot be here. So let's talk about how to write a sharps. It has to be slanted. I might have mentioned in the previous clip, but it must be slanted. And the reason for it is because if you do it this way, then we kind of blend in with the staff lines. So lesson 5 is basically just for you to write the key signatures yourself and to name the keys. And to, they have a few musical examples, then you just have to name the keys. When it gets to lesson 6, it's a little more interesting. I start talking about scales. I think of scales as family members. And how we have to first define what a scale is. So a scale is basically a note like C and 1 octave higher, that's the same note, C. So we're just going to use C major as an example. The first note and the last note, they are 1 octave apart. And a scale could be divided any way in the middle. They could be any kind of pattern. But when it's a major scale, then you need to have one of each letter name. Oops. I'm sorry. Like the spacing in the middle is too small. So you need one of each letter name, like C, D, F, G, A, B, C. So for all the major scales, you're going to have one of each letter name. So you're not going to have like two D's or two E's in the middle if it's a major scale. And then how do we write a major scale? We basically, the pattern is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That's basically I know the book doesn't really talk about this at this point. Hold on, how do I get to center? Okay, so C, we're starting on C. A whole step higher is D. A half step high, blah. Oh, sorry, my fault. Whole step higher is E. My fault, okay? So it's a whole step here, another whole step, you need a half step. And then I'll finish it. So we have whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, da 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 da. Look, it's shorter, right? Da 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 da. Those are wider. Da da. It's closer. It's a half step. Da da, whole step. Da da, whole step. Da da, whole step. Da da, half step. Why don't we try to do this with F and see what we get? We're gonna start on F and try to follow the pattern. So we start F. Whole step above F is G. Da da. Another whole step. Da da. Da da. It's a half step. We have a half step here. Whole step. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Like that. Half step. So it's a whole, whole, half. Whole, 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 half. Guess what? We have a flat. That's why the key signature for F major is B flat. Okay, so it looks like in this particular chapter, you just have to fill in the sharps. You could have done the whole and halves, but because all the questions are either C, F, G, or D, you could just plug in the sharps and flats that you already know. So major, lesson 7 has to do with 5-finger patterns and triads. So exactly what are 5-finger patterns? They are the positions that we put our hands when we play piano. When we first start learning how to play piano, we basically stay in the same position the whole time for the whole piece, and we feel kind of good about it because we play a piece. So let me draw a keyboard then. I will try to make it like same size as the actual keys if I can. It's too wide already. No. Okay, this is my not so great looking keyboard. Okay, so 5-finger pattern. Da 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 da. This is too big, I know. And then when my thumb is on C, then it's called C major 5-finger pattern, and it's basically the first 5 notes of C major scale. So let's kind of look into what kind of whole steps and half steps we have. C to D is a whole step. D to E is another whole step. E to F is half. F to G is whole. So whole, whole, half, whole is the major 5-finger pattern. Ta-da! We can go on to minor 5-finger pattern. It's basically the middle notes different. So let me try to draw a better one this time. Okay, so I have my keyboard here. C, D, E, F, G is a major 5-finger pattern. C, D, E flat, F, G is a minor 5-finger pattern. Notice it's only the third note that's different. Whole step, C, D, D to E flat, it's got a half step. C, D, E flat to F is a whole step, F to G. So to most of us, C, D, E, F, G sounds happier. It's major. C, D, E flat, F, G sounds more sad. It's minor. So that's basically what chapter 7 and lesson 7 is about. And then if you know the 5-finger patterns, you can figure out triads. Because if you take the first note, the third note, the fifth note, it's a triad. C, G, C major, C flat, G, C minor. Okay, so, oh no. Okay, I should have brought something. So, major, minor, basically adjectives. So later on in music theory, you're going to have a bunch of things, major, minor. So far, you only have major scale, minor scale, major 5-finger pattern, minor 5-finger pattern, major triad, minor triad. In the future, you're going to have major intervals and minor intervals. So just remember the adjectives to describe these different types of things. And later on, you're going to get augmented, which is bigger than major, and diminished, which is smaller than minor. Okay, I think that you should try to work on your lessons 5 through 7 now.